What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the stock market didn't do so well today, guys. S&P 500 down 1.5%, Dow Jones down 1.2%, and the NASDAQ and the Russell also both went down 1.5% on the day. And today we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over 10 stocks to buy now, and I also want to share with you guys what I did in the stock market today, why the stock market dropped today, and in general where my head is at as a trader, as an investor, as we're kicking off this brand new year of 2021. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to join the Strive Smart Discord chat and Facebook group link down below. You could also get 4 stocks from WeBull and get this guy's M1 Finance upped their game. You can now get $30 from M1 Finance if you use my link down below, open up an account, and deposit any amount of money. So let's get into it. S&P, and I'm choking, guys. Geez, right off the top of this video, I'm choking. S&P 500 ended up hitting an all-time high. We hit an all-time high at 3769.99 despite the big sell-off. I mean, hey, we gapped up this morning. We saw a big pop of about, not a big pop, but a pop of about 12 points from the close on Thursday to where we got again to that all-time high, and then we sold off over 100 points on the S&P. We hit 3769 and we actually got all the way down to 3662. That was a drop of actually almost 3%. So that was a pretty big drop. Honestly, from recent memory, the markets have been going so up, so high every day, you know, green day after green day after green day. I can't even remember the last time we saw a decent drop like that of about 3% intraday. And of course, it's nothing compared to what we saw back in March. I mean, that was crazy. The markets were moving, 10% in a day, 7% in a day. So it's nothing compared to that. But 3% in a day, it's nothing to sneeze at either. That's pretty crazy. And what you guys can see here based on this 2-hour chart, I wanted to point this out to you all. What we can see here is the S&P 500 is trading beautifully within this channel. So yeah, we sold off. We saw a big drop. But the beautiful thing is the uptrending channel is holding. In fact, you can see it right here. We're seeing some green candlesticks, 2 to be specific, or to be exact here on the 2-hour chart, forming at the support of the channel. That's a pretty good sign that this uptrend wants to continue. And you guys saw in the title of the video, stock market selling off, the stock market is in danger. And in the short term, there is a little bit of danger. There is a little bit of downside that I want to get into here in a second, and it has to do with the Senate, right? So at this point in time, and let me read some notes for you guys here, investors have their eyes peeled on the Georgia runoff elections on Tuesday to determine which party will control the Senate. A Democratic win of the 2 contested Senate seats could trigger a sell-off in the markets, according to Oppenheimer strategist John Stoltzfus. And I hope I'm not butchering your name, John. I doubt you're watching this video, but I just butchered your name. But this guy is saying that this could sell off the markets. There could be a sell-off in the markets. And quote-unquote, should the Democrats win both seats, we expect the S&P 500 to become vulnerable to a downdraft in the neighborhood of 6 to 10%, wrote Stoltzfus in a note to investors. So that's pretty interesting. He sees, if this happens, right, if we see a Democratic dominated Senate, we might see a drop 6 to 10% in the market. So keep an eye on that for sure tomorrow coming up, right? And quote unquote again, in our experience, the market prefers that Washington's Capitol Hill have enough checks and balances in place to keep political power out of just one party's hands. So that makes sense. And I agree with that, right? We don't want, for the stock market's sake, to have a Senate and a House of Representatives both ran by the Democrats. It's better to have, or the Republicans for that matter as well. It's better to have split, one Democrat and then one for the Republicans, right? I think it's better that way for the checks and balances, like he says. And this is interesting too. Check this out, guys. The Democrats already control the House of Representatives, as you all should know at this point. A Democratic Senate sweep, quote unquote, would bode ill for business, with the likelihood that corporate tax rates could rise substantially. And that's a pretty decent threat to the stock market, especially what I just said with corporate tax rates. Because if we have Democratic-ran House of Representatives and Democratic Senate, they can pass that through very easily. But if the Senate is ran by Republicans, them cutting the corporate tax rates, it won't be as easy, and it's probably not going to happen. Let's be honest. So that's why the market dropped today. That's a big reason why. But again, we're still holding this uptrend channel in the S&P. But if we get some bad news, let's say, hey, we get a Democratic-run Senate, that could drop the markets even further. The technical channel here that we're seeing could go out the window, and the S&P can drop even further. Who knows? It could go down 3,500. And honestly, if it goes down 6-10%, like that guy Stolzfus said, it might go down. Let's see here exactly. It could go down in the ballpark of 3,450, maybe 3,400, maybe 3,300 at the lowest point if it were to drop 10% from where it is right now. So keep an eye on those levels, and again, keep an eye on what's going on here with the Senate. And that makes sense. I mean, I've been here on the channel saying, technically speaking, this 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, this could act as support if we were to see a sell-off. And could this be the catalyst that pushes us to sell off? It very well could be, guys. So watch out for that on the S&P 500. Dow Jones ended up going down 1.2%. Like I said, we ended up breaking back into that channel we've been in. Well, we were in it for all of December between 30,250 as resistance and about 29,800 as support. Well, we broke back into that today. We broke 30,280. We did not hold it as support, and we actually filled the gap down to about 29,900, and we held that, and we rallied back up, closing right under that resistance. So for the Dow Jones, just watch out for 30,250. What is it going to do here? Is it going to break out? Is it going to struggle there? Maybe sell back off into the 29,000 area, high 29,000s. That is what could happen here based on, again, us getting back in terms of the Dow Jones back into that down trending channel. So keep an eye on that. And when it comes to the NASDAQ 100, this was pretty interesting. It's holding the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. Here you guys can clearly see that. So if this ends up holding, maybe we see a bit of a relief rally, a bounce back, a higher low, maybe for a push to higher highs. But again, if the Senate doesn't roll out into the stock market's favor, which is obviously split, they want it House Democrats, Senate to the Republicans. If that doesn't happen, the stock market's likely to sell off, like I said, and NASDAQ 100 might go down low 12,000. That would be about a 4% drop from where we are now. That would put it right around this 180 SMA 4-hour chart. That could be a spot of support. And if that breaks, the NASDAQ 100 could be going mid 11,000s, maybe high 11,000s, but I don't want to jump the gun quite yet because we didn't break the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart yet. But again, the second that breaks, that is where we can see a big drop in the NASDAQ 100. And the Russell 2000, guys, also is starting to sell off. This is great. I want it to sell off. Quite frankly, I want to see the market sell off. I think it's a bit frothy here. I'd like to see the Russell down to about 1,700, 1,800. That would be a good spot, in my opinion. Now, I'd love to know what you guys have to think about this. Drop a comment down below. And if you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button. I challenge you guys, let's try and get 400 likes. Hit that like button. Let's try to get 400 likes on this video. So, what did I do today? I ended up trading NIO today, and NIO is one we called out yesterday, and honestly, I've been talking about this one pretty much every day on the channel, and we were looking at this as an inverse head and shoulder. We can see it here. We called that out last week, a couple of videos ago. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and I told you guys in yesterday's video, if $48, $49 breaks, we see a gap up pre-market, I think this could be a runner into the mid-50s. And did I think it was going to happen this quick? Did I think it was going to happen in a single day? No, but it did. It did. NEO went up 10% today. And by the way, if you guys want to see a NEO video I made earlier, I'll link it down below in the description box. It goes deeper into NEO Day, the delivery numbers that came out for NEO yesterday, and my thoughts on NEO in general. Again, I'll link that down below in the description box. Go check it out after this. But pretty much what we said is exactly that. 48 breaks, 54 can fill. We did exactly that. And I personally caught this move, grasping my first good, juicy old profit of 2021. And you guys know I'm a bit more private. I don't like flexing and showing all my profits all the time. But I did today for fun on Instagram at StasserFest. Make sure to go follow me there at StasserFest if you do want to see that profit from NEO. And again, go follow me at StasserFest. It's on the story if you guys do want to go see it. But again, I don't post my profits all the time because for me, it's like I don't really have anything to prove. What's the point of just flexing all the profits all the time? I mean, that's not what I'm here to do. But anyway, I made a good amount of money there from 51.15. I got in a little bit in pre-market, 51.15. And then I ended up selling on the big pump. And we didn't know that the pump was coming. But deep down, I had a gut feeling, and it happened, and I ended up selling out at 52.75, and I made about 3.5%, something like that. And again, go follow me on Instagram at StasserFest if you do want to see that. And if you want to just follow me in general, call outs throughout the day, Instagram is a great place to follow me at. So that's all I did today. I day traded NEO. I'm also still in Workhorse WKHS. This one's one that I'm in at $22. This one went up 8% today. Pretty nice day for Workhorse. This is honestly a longer-term swing for me, so I'm not really looking to get rid of it at this point, even though I am down a little bit. And SLV is one that I'm also still in. And today was one heck of a day for the precious metals. Gold did well. Silver did pretty well. And I'm going to actually mention a gold ETF later in this video that I like right here. But it was a pretty strong day for, the metals. And I'm in SLV at 23 bucks. It's actually at 25, almost 50 now. So needless to say, I'm doing well in that position. And on top of that, I have a good amount of cash. I'm about, I'd say like 40, maybe 50% cash right now. And that's kind of how I'm rolling, guys. I'm waiting for some opportunities. Again, like I said earlier, the market's a bit frothy, and I want it to go down. And just because I want it to go down doesn't mean it is going to go down. But I have cash just in case it does go down, if that makes any sense. So let me know what you guys did in the comments down below. I'd love to know how you did in today's session, the first day of 2021. Now, let's get into some other stocks I'm looking at. Starting off with WMT, also known as Walmart. This is one that did well today despite the markets being down. Walmart went up 1.65%, up over $2 per share on the day. And what we're noticing here is we're actually breaking out of the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, especially with today's price action. That's been a resistance here for the past couple of weeks, quite honestly, ever since the middle of November. So the fact that we broke that is a good sign. Now, this is going to be another big test. Let me show you guys here on Walmart. This is going to be a big test right around 147, 146, literally right where it is right now. If we actually can break the 180 SMA and this resistance on this wedge, I think Walmart is going to be off to the races. I think we can see a big move, maybe back up to, let's say, 155, 160 even, up to all-time highs. I think that is where Walmart, if I can even speak today, guys, I think that's where Walmart is heading. and that could be a move of 4, 5, 6% from here. So just watch out for the breakout on Walmart. I am for sure doing that right now. And Apple, AAPL, this is one that you guys know I made some good money on this one. I swing traded it a bunch over the past couple of weeks, months. This is one that we called out when it broke out of 119, this downwards wedge that it was in for a couple weeks. Broke out of there. We called it, made some money there, and it ran up to 138, right around that old all-time high, got rejected there. Now it's down about $10 from that point, down about 7%, and it's at an interesting dip buy, I think. Not saying it's a buy quite yet. Let's say it's at an interesting dip, right? Again, down about 7%. It looks like we are wanting to hold a higher low at this point based on this uptrending pattern, right? And we're also right around an old resistance that's acting as a new support at about $127. So I think this could be a decent dip buy, maybe in Apple, if we do get confirmation of the pop. If we do end up popping back and starting to squeeze over 130, maybe back into the mid-130s. I think that could be a potential move here in Apple, so I'm watching that. But if it collapses under, let's say, 127, maybe we go back to the mid-120s at that point, maybe 124, 123, which honestly, guys, I wouldn't be opposed to that either. And another one here is NNDM. NNDM went down about 6% today, and if we zoom in a bit, what you can notice, again, I can't talk today, guys, but what you can notice here is we're seeing a bit of toppiness. Maybe a top. Not saying it's the top, but it's acting as a top here. We hit 10.50. We recently hit $10 again, so we saw a descending move there from 10.50 to $10, and now we're selling back off to the point where, hey, I think if this 180 SMA breaks on the hourly chart, maybe we make a move to the low 8s, maybe high 7s. And what I see here on the 4-hour chart, we're seeing a hold on this 50 SMA, so that's another place to look out for what it does around here. Let's say if it pops, that could be a long play potentially, maybe back up to $10. But if it breaks 860, 50 SMA 4-hour chart, again, that could be a point where we go high 7s, low 8s, heck, maybe even low 7s, which would be a great buying opportunity in my opinion. So watch this dip on NNDM. I like it. Run is another one, Sun Run. This one ended up going up about 0.9% today, and as long as it's over 69, right around 70, 69, 70 bucks, I'm looking at Run as a potential breakout. I think this is going to ultimately fill the gap up to about $80, maybe $75, $80. I think that's honestly where it's headed. And if you guys take a look here on this 90-day chart, if I zoom in a bit, this kind of looks like an ascending triangle. We see resistance at 69, 70 bucks, and we're uptrending into that resistance. We just have to see the pop. We have to see the momentum squeeze out of 70 bucks, and I think again that is where we could fill the gap to 75, 80. That is where I think Run could end up going, so it's worth watching in my opinion. Nflx is another one worth watching here. Nflx, if you guys take a look here on the 4-hour chart, what you're noticing is we're clearly in this brand new channel between 514 support and resistance at 560. We're currently trading very close to that support at about 520, and I think this could be a dip buy on Nflx as well. Take a look on the hourly chart. We hit a higher high. What was that on Thursday at 545? Today we pulled down, and it seems like we're holding a higher low here at about 518, and even after hours we're up to almost 530. So I think this could be a nice continuation play if the market stabilize and come back later this week. We'll see. And another thing worth noting is if we get the Senate officially ran by Republicans, right? If that's what comes out tomorrow, these next couple of days, whatever, I think the markets are going to snap back higher because that kind of relieves the uncertainty, if that makes any sense. So at that point, I could easily see Nflx pop back up 545, 550, heck, maybe even back to 560. So watch out for Nflx. Shopify is another one. SHOP is the ticker on this one. And this one's down a good chunk, down about 15% from its peak. Peak was at 1285, now it's at 1092. And you're noticing that was a much-needed sell-off. I'm not complaining about that. And now we're coming back down to earth. We're approaching a big support on the 4-hour chart right around this 180 SMA, right around 1075 as well. That's a big support. So I think this level right here could be a dip. I mean, it's pretty simple to see this, guys. This in the past couple months, 1070, 1100 in general, that was a big support. So if a resistance rather. So if Shopify can hold this area support, that's huge for the bulls, and especially if we get that pop back upwards like this. Oh man, watch out. The sky's the limit, in my opinion. On Shopify, momentum could definitely continue there. CIIC is another one here worth watching. Took a beating today, down over 5%. At one point, it actually got down to about $25. It closed at $26.60, so a nice rebound into the close of the market. And I'm looking at this one as a potential move, a squeeze play, maybe back up to $31, $30-ish, right around the resistance of this wedge that you guys are seeing on the 4-hour chart. And maybe if it squeezes even out of there, I think that could end up happening possibly in the short term. I think we could be gunning for those highs. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. We're still pretty beaten down in the short term here, but I'm just playing hypothetically with you guys, right? So if 26 and hold, watch it for a fill to 30, then from 30 a breakout maybe to the mid-30s on CIIC. And CRSR, Corsair Gaming, is another one which is not looking too great. I'll be honest. The 4-hour chart, uptrend, completely broke. Today we were down 4%. What you guys see here on the hourly chart is pretty clear as day if it wants to load up here for me. And it's not looking like it wants to do that. There we go. What you guys are looking at here is pretty clear. It's a head and shoulder, right? Left shoulder, head. You guys can see it right there. And then the right shoulder was right here. And with today's dump off, it pretty much completed. We're right around where the left shoulder began at about $33, $34. That's right where we are right now at about $34.75. So this broke the uptrend, guys. And until we end up recovering over, let's say, 36, 37, quite frankly, I'd like to see Corsair back over 40. That's a better spot for momentum, in my opinion. Until we see it back up in the high 30s, low 40s, I don't want to mess with it quite yet because I don't want to get caught in something that can dump even lower, especially since the uptrend just broke today. So we'll see. We'll keep it on the watch list. Another one worth watching here is AMD. AMD, we called this out on Twitter, which is worth watching or following me on. It's at StockSurfS. Make sure to follow me there. And again, on Instagram as well, at StockSurfS. We talked about AMD. We see a head and shoulder here forming, maybe on the hourly chart, left shoulder, head, right shoulder here as we got rejected at the neckline at about $95.80, $96. That is a pretty good sign that the head and shoulder, the right shoulder, is looking to complete. But on top of that, we're also maintaining the uptrend here on the 2-hour chart at a higher low at about $90, $91, and we might squeeze out of 95. It's still yet to be seen. We have to be patient. But either way, it could be two scenarios here. Head and shoulder, right shoulder completes. We break the uptrend, maybe go down to the high 80s. That could be the head and shoulder completed. Or if we break 95, 96, that could be a push for all-time highs again and maybe up into the hundreds. So we have to wait and see how it plays out. And GDX, if you guys stuck till the end, GDX is that gold ETF, and it's actually a gold miners ETF, not a gold ETF like GLD, which strictly tracks the price of gold. This is a gold miners ETF and went up 7% today. What a day it was for GDX. You guys can see it here on the 4-hour chart. With today's breakout, we're actually out of this downtrending channel officially, right? We also broke out of the 180 and the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, and we're starting to see a bullish cross above, which means on this 4-hour chart, the 50 SMA is crossing above the 180 SMA, and we also took out 37.50 resistance from back in the middle of December. So this is very bullish overall for GDX. And again, gold did very well today, and with money coming, printing, fresh off that printing press, gold is going to be great in my opinion. It's a safe haven, a hedge against the dollar, and a hedge against the economy. And with the economy being rough right now, more money coming down the pipe, like I said, I think gold GDX is going to be pretty solid. So I'm looking at this one as a breakout play, maybe back up into the low 40s, maybe mid 40s eventually. Guys, I think that's where we're heading here on GDX. So that's it for the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to join the Strive Smart Discord chat and Facebook group. Those are free to join. You could also get 4 stocks from WeBull and $30 free from M1 Finance. Both of those are also linked down below. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, I love you guys. Thanks for the support. It means a lot. Stay safe out there. Keep crushing the markets. Peace out.